I'm a recruiter and I'm reviewing your resumes. The resume we have up first is a Java developer. So they did not really tell me what they are. They just said software engineer, but you need to pick a stack if you're a software engineer. Otherwise, you're going to fail. And I saw Java out of the corner of my eye, so I'm expecting this to be a Java developer. So just to let everybody know, I do more than tech resumes, but right now the tech market is on fire. So most of the resumes that are sent to me are tech. And this person's resume is garbage. This is an absolute terrible resume. How do I know that without reviewing it? Well, they told me their ratio, and the ratio is a good way to know if your resume is good or garbage. Your goal should be getting 1 interview per 50 applications, a minimum. If there's anything above 1 in 50, it's bad. If there's anything below 1 in 50, it's good. And as an example, most of the people that follow my format and use my guide and basically follow my instructions, they get 1 interview per 7 applications. There is an exception to that. If it's fully remote roles, then I get you about a 1 in 30, 1 in 40. And if you are an international, I can get you a 1 in 30 to 1 in 100. So if you follow my method, you will get 1 interview per 7 applications. And this person, it takes them 150 plus applications to get a single interview, so thus garbage resume. So what is this garbage resume need? Well, what we need for a software engineer, specifically Java, is Java, Spring, Spring Boot, Maven, SDLC, SQL, RESTful APIs, or REST APIs. Object-oriented programming, OOP, microservices, CI/CD, Git, Linux or Unix, Agile, Scrum, Cloud, and if you do GCP for Cloud, you need to tell me Google Cloud Platform and then parentheses GCP. You don't need to do that for AWS. Architecting or systems, and Hibernate, Docker, Kubernetes, and Kafka, and the rest of those are rare but nice to have. So recruiters only have 20 seconds to find what we need in your resume. So I'm not going to find it in 20 seconds because, again, they have a terrible ratio, but let's see what I can find in 20 seconds. And remember, these have to be in qualification form, not keyword form. A keyword is this, and that is something a hiring team needs. A qualification, which we are hunting for, is this plus how you used it, plus the reason and result of you using it, plus where you used it. So thus, skills sections and summaries do not count. So 20 seconds on the clock, because that's all the time we have. And go. Okay, we don't need this because you already have it. Developed Java. Okay, API, good. Nothing else. Resolve conflicts, don't really care. Produce Astley, full SDLC is okay. Nothing else here is good besides Scrum. QA, no, don't care about. AWS, and that is fine. And declined. So I need 75% of these to move you forward, and this only had about 20 to 30, which is very interesting to me because so far this does not actually read like a 1 in 50. This actually reads like a 1 in 100, and it is bad. There is not enough stuff, but there is things that are salvageable. I'm going to read their note, and that's probably going to change why it is, but let's see what they wrote. I would like guidance on how to balance ATS optimization. That does not exist. If anybody is telling you the ATS is rejecting you and that you need to optimize for the ATS, they are scamming you or they do not know what you're talking about. I have made multiple videos on this. You can find them in the shorts section of my YouTube. The ATS does not work like that. The ATS does not scan. It does not do that stuff. All it does is a digital filing cabinet to store resumes so that we can look at them in the order they applied. That is it. For example, when a job description lists multiple programming languages such as Java, Go, and Python, I may have hands-on experience with only 2 while having theoretical knowledge or limited exposure to the third. Doesn't matter if you have theoretical, it just matters that you've done it. Candidates a lot of the times overestimate how much skills they need. A lot of the times you really just need enough that the company does not have to spend a week training you, and that's literally it. So let's see. I want to ensure I represent my skills accurately and honestly without overstating my experience. Yeah, all you need to do is just say what you've done. You let us decide if it's relevant. It's not your job to determine if what you did is good enough. It's our job to determine if it's good enough. And so just write what you did. That's it. In simple, basic format. Just write what you did. And they will decide if it is enough or not enough. Similarly, for tools such as Docker, Kubernetes, Postman, I don't care about Postman, Jira, and Git, I would appreciate clarity on whether it is appropriate to include all technologies mentioned in the job description or only those I have used directly in my work. You need to use the ones that you have used. Otherwise, it's a project. If it's a project, you can put it in. That's fine. But I'm a little confused by that question. I'm particularly interested in understanding how important ATS scores are compared to resume quality. They don't. They don't. ATSs don't score your resume. That's not how they work. You know how they work? First come, first serve. If you are applicant number 30, we will see you in the order that you applied. So if you are applying to jobs after 400 other people have applied, we are seeing you in the 400th order. Then you're like, well, what happens when 1,000 people apply to a role? Well, you do what we've always done, and we have done this for decades, is you review them in the order they came in, and when you find enough talented people, which is usually within the first 150 applicants, you stop looking. That's it. People will complain that that is inefficient, and they are incorrect. That is actually the best way to recruit, is you go in the order they applied, and then you keep going until you have enough candidates, and then you stop. Will you stop at number 40? Probably not. Usually it's about 150 you find the candidate you need. So if you have not applied within the first 150 people, you are probably not going to get seen. Let's see. And then and whether I should tailor each resume and bullet point to the individual job. No, never tailor your resume to the individual job that you are applying for. You tailor it to the job title you are going for. There is a big difference. What you need to do, and my guide shows you how to do it, it is in the description below, is you need to find 15 job titles that are similar and have the same set of skills in the qualification section. Then take those 15 jobs, tailor your resume to those 15 jobs, and use that resume to mass apply anytime you see that. So, as an example, these are the keywords I need with Java developer. If you're a Java developer, I did it for you. Here you go. You can just use those. And then tailor your resume to this, and then use this to mass apply. You should not be tailoring your resume to every role, because the ATS sorts you in the first come, first serve. By the time you finish tailoring your resume, there are probably another 100 of people that have already applied, and you will not get seen. So this resume is not the worst, right? I thought their 150 would show it's an absolute garbage resume. It's not good, but it's not the worst. The real problem is they are tailoring their resume to every single role, and that is leading them to be behind in the ATS, so that when the recruiter gets to them, they don't, because they've already found who they need. So what you need to do is tailor your resume based on this. You also need to fix your formatting. Your formatting should look like this. This is how you do it. The description of that is below. And then the actual bullet points here, again, are not the worst. I like the fact you have Java here. Your second sentence is mostly entirely irrelevant because you already mentioned APIs in the first one. The problem is also I don't want you to say APIs. I want you to say REST APIs or RESTful APIs. Then we go down to here, and there's nothing in this one I need. Your first sentence is okay, but I need 2 other keywords, right? Each sentence should have a minimum of 2 keywords. Minimum of 3 keywords. Minimum of 3, maximum of 6. So what you want to do is combine these two and say, developed a Java backend with RESTful APIs and in an AWS and GCP and Google Cloud Platform GCP environment to maintain code as part of a coding heavy role. So those two should be combined. That way you have about 4 to 5 keywords in each of those, and that is a full sentence. And then this one, the second bullet point, again, you just need more, right? You want 3 keywords minimum per sentence. Your second one only has SDLC and Scrum and Agile. So I need 1 more. And then I need you to do that for the rest of them. So is this a garbage, no good, awful resume? No, it's just they've been applying too late because they believe the myth that ATSs score and rank your resume. And the reason that is so harmful is if you believe the ATS scores and ranks your resume, you will spend time tailoring your resume, submitting it because you believe the system is smart enough to move you forward if you hit all the right things, when that's the exact opposite of what happening is by the time you apply, it is too late. So That is all I can do for this resume. I just want to thank you all for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. It really does help me out. And I wanted to give a heartfelt thanks to my members. You can join in the description below. They get access to videos a little bit early. Thank you very much for supporting me. I am a small creator, and I really do appreciate it. And if you or anybody else who is even not a member needs help, you can always join my live stream. That is where I get this stuff every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And let's go to the next resume. This is a full stack software engineer. So what we need for full stack is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, CSS, HTML, React, or React.js, Node.js, Angular, Next.js, SQL, NoSQL, MongoDB, RESTful API, REST API, Cloud. Again, if you say GCP, you need to say Google Cloud Platform and then in parentheses GCP. CI/CD, Git, .NET or Python or Java, and a bonus points for AI and all that other stuff. So this person has a 1 and unknown. We do not know how good or bad this resume is. So 20 seconds on the clock. Let's find out. And go. Okay, Bachelor Science, good. Top 4 team, okay. Refactored UI using okay, this is not great. You're almost there though. Migrated document storage. I need more. Developed and optimized RESTful APIs and Node.js. Code quality, okay. Let's see. Projects for Microsoft Java Spring Boot, support scaling, and time. This is not terrible. All right, I want to be clear. This is not terrible, but there are ways to definitely improve this. So, freshly edited CV, no idea how it's going to go, but still give me hardcore feedback. So, I mean, I think you're expecting me to roast this and tell you this is garbage, never apply. It's not terrible. You're really just missing the reason and result. So when we're looking for software engineer bullet points, and I do understand this is an internship, is I don't really care about like refactored responsive components using blah de blah. I would rather you just say used TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and React to simplify our state management for our website, right? Like I'm missing a little bit of the context here. So I need a little bit more context because this is too technical. Remember, you don't want to make your resume crazy technical. So this is a little too technical. I need you to simplify it for somebody that cannot send an email. And I'm not even joking. Like you need to do that. Then we go down here, and again, migrated storage to AWS S3 is fine, but I'm using secure prestige for temporary authorized. This is the part I don't really want, and I want a little bit more. Remember, you want 3 keywords minimum per bullet point. So migrated document storage to AWS 3 is fine. Using X and Y could be fine. But like, why did you migrate it? What was the point of that? Was it for your website? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Developed and optimized, you can just say developed. So developed RESTful APIs using Node.js, ensuring high code reliability through compression unit testing with Jest. So I don't care about Jest. And again, this is not terrible, but this only has 2 keywords when I need 3. So if I look at it through this lens, let me take away what I found. I found TypeScript, JavaScript, good. That was fantastic. I found React, right? Then we go down and we did do cloud. You did it correctly. And RESTful APIs I took out. We have Java and Spring Boot down here, which is good. And I think that's kind of it. So, oh, here's SQL, right? Also, why is there this huge gap? Is that something? There's a little bit bigger of a gap here for some reason than there should be. But yeah, this is not terrible. I just need you to condense it more, right? Like migrated, managed SQL. Again, I don't need all of those. I just need you to say manage SQL database. But again, I don't care that this is not the why, right? Like I want you to stop thinking like an engineer and start thinking like somebody that can't turn on a computer. And I need you to, instead of say manage relational SQL, just say, you know, created a SQL database using Spring Data so our academic records were correct, right? And then I need a little bit more. So I just need more of these. You only have about, oh, let me take away this. You did find that. I only have about 50% and I need 75% to move you forward. So again, this is not a pass, but it's probably not going to take you too long to to actually get a pass. And this is not a garbage resume, destroy it, get it away from my site. There is a lot of good here. You just need to add more stuff that I want and take away more stuff that I don't want. So good effort. The next one should be way better. Next resume. All right, we've got another full stack developer. So same thing as last time, 20 seconds on the clock. I don't need to repeat those. And what is their ratio? Their ratio is unknown. We do not know if this is a good or bad resume. So 20 seconds on the clock and go. Okay, where are you located? I don't know. I need to know. Degree, good. Engineered a full stack dashboard using JavaScript, TypeScript, HTML, CSS, React, and Next, good. Implemented a backend using Node.js Express, good. Utilized, just say used, AWS, GitHub, CI/CD version controls, fine. This is a okay resume. Again, my big thing here is you don't really tell me the reason and result. It's not terrible because you mention at least some of the stuff I have, but also don't say leverage, just say use. Let me see what they wrote. I want you to roast my resume. I want to know where I can what I can improve. So first off, and I mean this is the biggest thing right here, is where are you located? You absolutely need to show where you're located, because relocating is a big red flag. If they see that you are relocating, they may just out of hand reject you. So you really want to show where you are. The second one is I need more for your sentences. Like engineered a full stack dashboard. Okay, good. Using JavaScript React for sensor data monitoring. But like, what was the dashboard? What was the point of the dashboard? Why is sensor data monitoring important? Why is data access and storage important? I don't know. Why is version control and containerized deployment important? I don't know. You didn't tell me why any of those are important. You just assumed that I knew they were important, and I don't. So you did tell me the what. You did tell me the how. I need to know the reason and result. But you do at least mention what I need here. So is there anything here I'm missing? JavaScript, React, TypeScript. Okay, good. Node.js, Angular, AWS. Also, your AWS should probably be in the first bullet point. It should be engineered a dashboard using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, React.js in an AWS environment. And then you could put Next.js or React.js in the next sentence. But AWS is very important. Cloud is massive, so you should probably have that in your first sentence. So I do need to know where you are. The second is your formatting is mid, right? Like it's could be a lot worse, but it could be a lot better. You want to use this one. This is the formatting you really want to use. This is a little harder to read. Like these little lines here make it worse. Stop putting. Everybody wants to put these lines in. I don't know why. It makes it harder. Stop putting this line in. Stop putting this line in. And then down here, none of these should be bolded. This should not be bolded. This should not be bolded. This should not be bolded. And then this needs to be one line, and it should be italicized. So your resume has some formatting issues. Your resume has some bullet point issues, but it's, again, these are not terrible, disgusting resumes. Get them out of my site. You have the core here. You just need to expand upon it. And don't be afraid if your resume is a little bit longer than one page, but I don't like you. I feel like you tried to put everything into one line and it made it worse. But also when you go down here too, don't do this. Stop. See, I don't know why people do this. They try to put some like pseudo skill section up here. Nope, nothing here counts. Nothing up here counts. You cannot do that. You need to just state what you did. So that's all I can do for this one. But again, I just really need the reason and result more. But the actual first half of the bullet points are solid. Just remember, you want AWS in your first sentence because AWS is very important. Next resume. We got another full stack. The next resume is not full stack. I don't know what it is, but it's not full stack. But this one is another full stack. So the third one in a row, we know what the stuff is that we're looking for. This is a 1 in 75 resume, so I'm expecting there to be some good things, and it's almost good enough to pass most of the time, but there's some flaws. So 20 seconds on the clock and start. Let 0 to 1 development, hardware diagnostics, Rust develop C were okay. There's too much here that I don't need. And your degree is, I don't think you have one. Owned the development of product for cosmetic ingredients using too big. We need to start with that. SQL database historic. I need more than this. And what type of cloud? To define requirements. And okay, yeah, there is almost things that I need here, right? They're very, very close to being exactly what I need, but there's stuff that's missing. So let me read what they wrote. The job dates are a red flag. A recruiter told me that my resume was jumpy. And yeah, yeah, it's a little jumpy. Yeah, this is jumpy because it looks like you've been at each of these jobs for less than a year. Man, I hate saying this. You probably have to remove one or two of these. Yeah, because then down here it's good. They just think you're okay. So what would we remove here? But you definitely need to remove stuff because this looks very jumpy. They are correct. Let's see. We have that since February to October. Yeah, this is the freelance. I would remove the freelance. I would just leave this as a gap. The gap will be better than the fact that you've only been there for less than a year. So the gap should be there. That is fine. And then we go down to here and it's August to October is a year. And then November to October. Probably want to also remove this one. Alright, October. And that's November to August. No, you want to remove this one. Because, yeah, this would be a little gap. And it's not the gap that's the problem. It's the fact that it looks like you're a job hopper because you've been at each of these for less than a year. But this down here is solid because you've been there for June. So if you go this, that way they can at least see that you've been at this place from June to 2021. And then you had to take this job for here and this job to this. So it looks more that you've been unlucky. And while this little gap can hurt you, it'll probably hurt you less than keeping in all these jobs because of the fact that your work experience is a little bit scattered, which they do not like. A gap is fine. A job hopper is not. So in addition to this one, I think I want to see led a 0 to 1 development of a hardware diagnostic tool. And then here for Meta's AI chips, to improve their see, I don't like improving reliability. I want something else here that is, well, better. So I need a little bit more here that isn't improving reliability. I'm not sure what we can really say, but we need something else here. And then we go down to here, developed a front-end features with Angular. Angular should be after CSS. So with TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS for a mortgage platform, perfect. Improved Angular, you already mentioned Angular up here. You don't need to mention it again here. And then the problem is there is nothing else in this. So this sentence actually does not matter because there's nothing else I can use with this. And then integrated RESTful for fetch is good. So then we go down to here and we have a lot of the stuff I need. So I know this looks insane, but they are right. It looks a little job hoppy. So at least this way, it shows what we need. But we really, really, really need to add more stuff to here because when we take this stuff out, let's see what we have. We have TypeScript and stuff. We don't have React. We don't have Node. We do have Angular, which is good. We don't have. We do have this. C# counts. That's fine. But the problem is you don't say RESTful APIs. You say REST. I need to see RESTful APIs or REST APIs. And then we don't have SQL. We don't have cloud. We don't have CI/CD Git. and we need more. And if you have gotten those at these places, then there is a separate format that we need to use. So this person is on my live stream, so I'm going to help them out a little bit more. But for everybody else, let's go to the next resume. This is a software engineer intern on either a full stack or Python intern. So you actually don't really need to pick a stack in an internship. When you do a full-time role, you need to pick a stack, but internships don't really matter that because all you need for an intern, and this goes for like non-software interns as well, every intern thinks they need something very specific, and every single internship is the same, with the exception of PhD level and master interns. So what we need is degree, because we need to see that you're still enrolled in school. We need to see a basic knowledge of whatever your industry is. In this case, it would be the tech stack, so like full stack, so TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, SQL, libraries, and maybe cloud and a little bit of AI. That's like it. That's all we need. And I need to see the ability to work well with others and the ability to take direction and criticism. Those are critical. If I do not find those, you will most likely not been moved forward. So this person has a 50-to-1 ratio, which is, again, that's the minimum. That's like a C minus, as it passes barely, but it does pass. But it looks like they are giving me a qualification there, so I will read that. So I'm expecting to find some of the stuff that I need, but this could be much improved. But this is probably going to be a pass. We'll see, unless what they wrote was very different, because sometimes people write things that are like, yeah, the 50 doesn't count. So 20 seconds on the clock, and go. Okay, university, good, don't need this. Delivered to Dockerized Next.js, AWS TypeScript, HTML Tailwind, okay. Built a REST, front end, okay. Collaborative weekly sprint plan is perfection. Ooh, love it. Engineering Docker, okay. And yeah, time. That passes. Your problem is this is a little bulky and there's too much unnecessary stuff, but this is actually good. Like this sentence alone, this is perfect. I actually don't know if there is a way for me to improve this. Collaborate. I would just say instead of collaborate, I would say worked with. That is a way to improve it. Worked with, collaborated in weekly sprints. Just say performed weekly sprint planning review session with the technical founder, 3 interns. Otherwise, that is perfect. It just, you need to say worked with or presented with or performed sprint planning. Collaborate is a bad word, but otherwise that sentence is fantastic. Every intern needs a sentence like that. If you want to know how to write direction and criticism and work with others, that is how you write it. Fantastic. 10 out of 10. Love it. So let me read your note. Been applying since late September to December, landed 2 internships. Most of the interviews I got were for unpaid roles with AI slop startups and a few paid ones at smaller companies. I've yet to hear back from Fortune 500 companies aside from one not automated. I'm hoping to see how I can improve my resume going to the next recruiting cycle to get interviews. So your resume, the core of it is good, right? This is a pass. I want to clarify, this is a pass. This is a success. This resume passes, right? This is fantastic. So when I'm telling you what to do, I'm being very nitpicky. Okay, I want to be clear about that. The core of this does pass. So the first thing you need to fix is your formatting. This is easy to read. This is hard to read. Second is your bullet points are a little too bulky, right? Like, I don't really care that you delivered a Dockerized, right? Like, delivered a Dockerized, I don't really care about that. But delivered a Next.js React detection dashboard on AWS using TypeScript. And again, don't say HTML5, just say HTML, just say CSS, don't say Tailwind, okay? Those could be different things. They're not, but they could be. Streaming and visualizing real data from hardware sensors, and then this. So this already makes your sentence a lot quicker. In addition, you should lead with this. So instead of delivered Next.js, say created a data dashboard using TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. I do need JavaScript. I don't see it. JavaScript, HTML, React in an AWS environment. And then you could put EC2 to stream our real-time data from hardware sensors. That is how I want you to write that sentence. And then down here, again, I don't know if I really care about fast APIs. I do care about Python, so this is probably good. And then I don't care about Google Auth. I don't care about 60%, so I need one more. This is a mid bullet point, not great. I need one more thing there, and I need you to, again, make it relevant. Then down here, this one's fine, except you already mentioned AWS up above. You don't need to mention it twice in the same job. So it's good to mention AWS here and here and here, but it's bad to mention it twice in the same job. So here is bad. So that's the rule. The same keyword should not be repeated. Sometimes you can't help it, but on average, that's what you want. So then we go down to here, and again, just say worked in weekly sprints. Otherwise, this is a fantastic bullet point. Absolutely love it. 10 out of 10. I guess 9.5 out of 10, right? Slight flaw, but it still passes. Then we go down to here. Engineered a Dockerized, I don't care about Dockerized, Spring Boot microservices, good for sharing into niche business using Java and PostgreSQL. Again, I want you to say engineered a Java, right? A Java Spring Boot web microservices in PostgreSQL and AWS to provide local businesses a good website. And again, then architected, again, I need more. There's only one thing here. I need two. I need 3 keywords minimum. So overall, again, good resume. It passes. This is good. But the reason you're not getting the Fortune 500 companies is these smaller critical mistakes that you're making, both in formatting and the overall bullet point itself, is that you're filling it with stuff that I just don't need. So fix your formatting. Right? Fix those bullet points and then keep doing what you're doing, because overall, good job. But that's all I can do for this resume. Thank you all for watching. If anybody needs more help, you're always free to join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. And if you ever, I just thank you for watching, right? I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. I'm a small creator, and thank you to my members who can join through the link below. They get access to videos a little bit early. Thank you very much for your support, and I will see you in the next video to get you a job.